The distress signal should never have reached human space. It was a thin, warbling thing, barely clinging to coherence, shuddering across subspace like the final heartbeat of a dying creature. It wasn't coded in any known galactic language, and much of it was corrupted beyond recognition. But one thing was unmistakable. The broadcast carried pure, unmistakable terror. Humanity, inconveniently for the rest of the galaxy, had a habit of listening when no one else would. The message was caught by the Horizon Sweep Array near the edge of Terran-free space. Technicians assumed it was static until their machine learning interpreter spat out a translated phrase that sent a chill through the room. "We beg any who hear. The world is ending. Our skies burn. Our gods have fallen. Help us. Please." 30 minutes later, the recording was sitting on Admiral Kira Halden's desk aboard the dreadnought TCS Valiant. She listened to it 3 times without a word. The 4th time, she shut it off. "Origin?" she asked. A junior officer swallowed. "An uncharted system outside Coalition territory. No known warp lanes." The Coalition ignored the signal, said it wasn't their problem. Of course they did, Halden thought grimly. To the Galactic Coalition, Earth was a useful, but unnerving, ally. Humans were considered Deathworlders, evolved on a world too violent, with bodies too adaptable, minds too stubborn. They were the only known species that smiled at adversity, laughed at danger, and treated the impossible as a personal challenge. So when someone sent a cry for help from deep wild space, the more delicate species ignored it. But Halden stood. "Prep the fleet," she said. "If no one else will answer, we will." Arrival at the Nightmare World. 3 ships made the jump. The Valiant, the science vessel Rosenbridge, and the medical ship Mercy's Hand. No one expected a full-scale military engagement, just a reconnaissance and humanitarian response. They dropped out of warp into a star system with only a single habitable planet, and even from orbit, something was terribly wrong. The planet's atmosphere roiled with black-red storms. Lightning carved jagged scars across the cloud layers. Entire continents glowed faintly, as if burning from within. On the surface, colossal structures, spires of obsidian metal, rose like geometric tumors. Some were collapsed, others cracking open, spilling bright, molten substance into the surrounding land. It looked less like a planet and more like a dying organism. "Life signs?" Halden asked. The Rosenbridge scanners pulsed for long, agonizing seconds. Finally, yes. Thousands. Underground caverns. And, "Admiral," something massive across the equatorial region. Something alive. Halden's jaw tightened. "Launch a shuttle. I want contact." The people beneath the dying sky. The shuttle Endurance carried Halden, xenobiologist Dr. Merrick Solis, and a squad of armored Marines. They pierced the toxic atmosphere, weaving through lightning like angry claws. They landed at the entrance to a cavern complex indicated by the signal. As they disembarked, shadowy figures emerged from the darkness, thin beings with translucent skin, large golden eyes, and elongated limbs. Their bodies shimmered faintly, like bioluminescent coral. Their leader stepped forward, hands slowly raised, trembling. "We prayed no one would come," he whispered. "We feared it was too late." Halden removed her helmet. The alien gasped. Humans were considered intimidating. She made no effort to soften it. "You called for help," she said. "Humanity doesn't ignore distress calls." The alien stared at her for a long moment before bowing deeply. "I am Thalen of the Orishal, and this world you have come to save is dying because something woke up beneath it, something ancient." Dr. Solis leaned forward. "Your message said your gods fell?" Thalen nodded weakly. "We believed the spires were temples. They were not. They were prisons." The ground shook beneath their feet. Dust rained from the cavern's ceiling. Thalen's voice broke. The things inside them are awakening. The forgotten giants. The Orishal led the humans deeper into their underground sanctuary. The caverns were enormous, cathedral-like chambers illuminated by soft blue flora. Families huddled together, afraid to speak above whispers. Thalen explained as they walked. Long ago, before the Orishal evolved into their current form, their world had been ruled by titanic beings called the Shadran, colossal, semi-organic machines that fed on planetary geothermal energy. The Shadran had nearly stripped the world clean before a cosmic event forced them into hibernation. Over millennia, their bodies became myth, their prisons mistaken for monuments. We built our cities near them, Thalen said bitterly. We worshipped them, and when we awakened them, they began to feed again. How many are waking? Holden asked. 3 fully active. 9 stirring. If they all rise, Thalen's shoulders slumped. They will crack the planet's mantle like an egg. The shaking intensified. A distant roaring echoed through the tunnels. Solis checked his instruments. Admiral, the geothermal activity is spiking. One of the giants is heading this way. Without hesitation, Holden snapped into command mode. Evac procedures. Now. Facing the Titan, they emerged onto the surface again, straight into hell. A kilometer away, something towering and metallic dragged its body from the burning crust. It was shaped vaguely like an insect, 6 jagged legs, a pulsing thorax of molten energy, and a head crowned with spines that crackled with electric arcs. It stood over 300 meters tall. Its footsteps shook the earth like meteor impacts. The Orishal cried out in despair. Marines lifted their rifles reflexively, but Holden raised her arm. No firing unless ordered. We don't know what we're dealing with. The giant's head swiveled toward them. A piercing, metallic shriek tore through the air, making the air vibrate. The thing lunged, faster than something that size had any right to move. Move! Holden roared. The shuttle took off immediately, engines screaming. The giant slammed a leg into the ground where it had been, vaporizing stone. On board, Holden strapped in. Get us back to the Valiant now. As they rocketed upward, the Titan rose fully to its towering height, limbs flexing, energy surging. It looked up at them, and for a horrifying moment it smiled. Humanity's counterstrike. Back aboard the fleet, the situation unraveled quickly. 9 more giants stirred. The planet's stability, already fragile, was deteriorating fast. A full evacuation might be impossible. Holden faced her command crew. All right. Options. Solis swallowed. We can't kill them conventionally. Their bodies are partly made of adaptive alloy and feed on energy. Shooting them is like throwing snacks. What about starving them? Holden asked. Their food source is the planet's core. They'll eat until nothing's left. Silence. Then Lieutenant Armin, young, nervous, brilliant, spoke up. What if we overload them? If they're conduits for geothermal energy, we might be able to reverse flow power into them. Too much energy might destabilize their internal reactors. Holden nodded slowly, like forcing someone to inhale while they're already full. Exactly. But it'll require ground-level insertion. Close-range emitters. Very close. How close? Holden asked, already knowing she wouldn't like the answer. Inside them, Armin whispered. Around her, the bridge went still. Finally, Holden spoke. Prep the insertion pods. We're going in. Riding into the belly of a god.